So, I wanted to do a review of the recently released movie, The Mortuary Assistant. Um, so, I will say, if you're a big fan of the game and, you want to see it, go ahead and see it. If you want, that is, if you're someone who's like, you think it's going to be a bad movie and you don't want to do that, then don't do it. Because I will say, I don't think it was a good movie at all. Um, I give it 2 out of 10, really. I will say the good parts. I will say I think the actors did fine. I don't think the actors did anything wrong. I think Raymond, um, I hope I'm saying his name right. I think he did a good job. He sort of acted like somebody that I would expect somebody who battles demons, like I'm guessing every day or every other day, would act. He's very withdrawn. He doesn't show a lot of emotion. He's very serious. Um, he gave me the chills a little bit in the beginning of the movie, actually. Um, he did a good job. I think Rebecca, I'm sorry, I never know the actors' names of people. But the person who played Rebecca did a good job too. Now I can't really think of anything spectacular, but I think she did a good job acting. And well, there's other actors, but their bodies and those the AA meeting host, she was fine. I do think some of the subtle horror elements were good in the beginning, like the bodies were twitching. Their heads, the head was moving back forth. Um, I think that's fine. I think that makes it actually scary because it's really eerie. It's like, a dead body. They're not supposed to move. And when they move a little bit, it makes it feel like it's like, it's wrong. It's like it's visually, I don't know the word. It's like, it's just like, it's like in your mind, hey, wait, that's wrong. That's scary. That's not supposed to happen. But then, that's fine. It could be built up to something scarier happening. Um, but other than that, I can't really think of anything good. I mean, the building that they were in, I mean, they couldn't even get the building right. Um, and that's the other thing. I will say this: I don't necessarily believe that every movie adaptation has to be literally a perfect adaptation, like it doesn't to the source material. It could have things different. Something in a video game or something in a visual novel or something in a book. It may look very good in the media that you consume it, but maybe when it gets on a movie screen, it just doesn't work out, and that's fine. But it didn't. They got the idea of it, and they didn't follow it. Like Rebecca, she leaves the place, in the middle of it. Goes home, and then Raymond shows up in the middle of the shift, like comes in, and he's not supposed to be there. And things just come out of order. And when you're playing the game, part of the scariness of it is like you're trying to do your job as a mortician, embalming bodies or putting them in the cremation. I don't know what it's actually called. The thing that cremates people, but you're just doing your job, and that's scary. But it's like in the beginning they embalm a body, and that's it. I mean, that's really it. They do it with the boss Raymond. She does it with the boss Raymond at the beginning, and then she does one body, and then she cremates it. But then the rest of the time, it's just her trying to figure it out. And I don't know. And the other thing is scary. And it's you go to watch a scary movie because you want to be scared. You want something exciting to happen. Well, it wasn't scary at all, really. There was one moment that I did get scared because, like, the body, I think, grabbed Rebecca, or it jump scared her. But that was really it. And yeah, it just wasn't scary. They did all these little spooky events and everything, but it just it didn't jump out at you. It didn't scare me. It didn't scare anyone. I don't think this movie would scare a kid. Um, no, no, it probably scare kids, but it probably wouldn't scare a kid that's seen scary movies before. Because it just wasn't scary. I'll say when you play the game is very scary because you're trying to do your job as a mortician, and that, hey, something scary is going to happen, but I don't know when it's going to happen. I might go and put the bombing fluid in, or go across the hallway and get the tank cleaner, and there's just endless dread because I'm going to go across this hall and something's going to happen, or I'm going to go in the bathroom to get the tank cleaner, and it's going to do something, or I'm just going to wire the mouth shut, and something's going to happen. Or I remember in the game where you're putting the tube in to put the I don't know, the bombing fluid through the stomach, or whatever it is that you put in there. I forgot. Um, Blood drips from the ceiling, and then you look up and it's scary. But it just, they try to be scary the entire time, and when you're scary the entire time, nothing's scary. Nothing jumps out at you. Like in a scary movie, it's like the story happens, maybe people talk, whatever. Then the scary part happens, and then that's when you get scared, and then it goes back. But it's just like, okay, it just goes straight to the scary part after a few minutes, and then you're just not scared. And I just wasn't scared. It wasn't very exciting either. Somebody who I sat next to in the theater, I just asked him, what do you think? And he said, it wasn't that good. I almost fell asleep to the end. And I was like, I can understand it because it doesn't feel that scary, it doesn't feel that engaging. And again, to the adaptation part, is like, it just didn't. It just felt like I'm just going to do whatever I want with this, and just make that. Um, I don't know. I mean, I try not to be mean about movies. I guess I sort of say, well, I like some of these parts, or that was a, but I don't know. I just felt like it was really, just really bad. Um, and I will say about lore, like they shoehorned in a bunch of lore, and I don't think they needed to be in the movie. Because like when you're playing it, it's like you're just trying to do the job, you're trying to survive, and if you go above and beyond, you find out who that is. But it just, I don't know, they shoehorned it, and like you didn't need to have that in the movie. Um, and I think that's part of the weakness of the movie, is that they're trying to establish so much stuff. They're trying to establish so much backstory, and they didn't need to do it. Like when I played the game, I don't, the lore, the backstory, that sort of just naturally drips into your experience. But it just felt like they try to just fit it in there somewhere. Um, Now, this is the first time I ever reviewed anything, honestly. So, I don't know how good of a review it is, but that's just my opinion. Um, Now, if you like the game, maybe go see it. Maybe don't see it like I did, though. I saw it at 10:30 at night because it's the only time I could get. And but yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't very good. I didn't like it. Um, Bye bye.